It's rare for me to come across a bike that exceeds my expectations. I mean, a belt-driven e-bike with no gears. Why? Bikes have had gears for decades. A chunky seat post battery with a circumference of the rock's thigh, 20-inch wheels, and it folds down to be stored under a desk. Surely it's going to be flawed, right? It has to be a gimmick, a sales tactic, the next thing for the consumer to get their teeth stuck into. Show me the money! Well, you may be surprised, just like I was. Plus, this e-bike has the best range of any e-bike I have ever tested. The Ado 20 Air arrived in a solid, rather rectangular box, which makes sense as it's pretty much assembled right out of the gate. Now, getting it out of the box, however, is a bit of a tight squeeze, just like getting into your jeans after a holiday. Now, after battling around 5,000 cable ties, I managed to start revealing the beast. The big old seat post was removed, which also doubles as a battery. This thing is thick and chunky, it's got some serious size. Now, it might actually be a brilliant design for a number of reasons, but more on that later in the video. As I dug further, I found a little floor pump included. There was also some batteries in the box. Now, there was also a detached light too, so I'm guessing that's what those mysterious batteries are for. And we've also got some mud guards in there as well. There was also a smaller box, and we've got a toolkit with some Allen keys. Nice addition. I'll probably find them in a few years at the bottom of my toolbox. The charger and charger brick come with plenty of cable length, which is always appreciated. We've also got the pedals, which fold up neatly, and a little surprise, there was a phone holder too. I wasn't expecting that. Now, first things first, let's get the battery installed in the seat tube. Now, it was a bit of a tight fit, requiring a bit of pressure to get it down, but I'd rather it be snug than loose, like Gandalf's sleeve. Now, once in, I tightened the quick release. I took out the bolt that was already in the frame. With the bolt removed, I placed the bars onto the frame. It was a little tight again, but as with the battery, I prefer it to be tight than loose. The lock-in nut then went back in, and that was tightened up securely. And after taking a step back to align the bars with the front wheel, I tightened the two bolts to lock the bars into place. Now, changing the bar angle is a breeze with the quick release, though when I did this, my bars were still a bit loose, so a quick turn of the Allen key to tighten the quick release, and that sorted everything out. You can also adjust the height of the bars with the second quick release, which is great if you are a taller rider. Installing the pedals was straightforward, but don't forget the left pedal tightens anti-clockwise, so it's a reverse thread. The right pedal tightens up clockwise like a normal thread. Now, the front light is an IPX5 waterproof 1200 lumen headlight that is powered by the battery on the bike, which is really good. As for the rear light, I wasn't overly impressed. The batteries had a mind of their own, trying to ping out of the light, and the mechanism to clip the light onto the bike didn't feel super secure. But hey, you can't have it all. Finally, I connected the battery up to the national grid to give her some much needed juice. Now, let's talk about ride comfort, because it's one of the key factors that can make or break your experience. Now, starting with the seat, it's pretty comfortable, quite large and well cushioned. We have 20-inch wheels with 50mm wide tyres, which is pretty wide, and they generally offer better grip all round. These tyres seem decent enough. They might not be Michelin, but they do the job. I also really like the grips. They feel pretty robust. They have more texture akin to sort of a road bike drop bar grip. Overall, it's a fairly comfortable ride. The 20-inch rims handle bumps better than like a 14-inch wheel, and most roads were no issue for me. That said, if you're thinking of taking this bike off-road, be prepared for a bit of a bone-rattling experience. This bike has a few tricks up its sleeve. First off, we've got a carbon belt drive. Completely maintenance free, no oil, no gears, no gear alignment to worry about. You can expect around 20 to 30,000 miles before this belt even needs any maintenance. Well, that's the claimed anyway. Then there's the brushless hub motor paired with the torque sensor. This means the assist you get from the bike isn't just on and off. It's based on the pressure you're putting through the pedals. More pressure, more assist. It's like the bike knows when you're really putting the effort in and decides to give you a hand. Now, the cables are all internally routed, keeping things nice and tidy. The bike's computer has a USB-C port to charge your phone whilst you ride. It's a great touch, perfect for those times when your phone's battery is as drained as you are after a long ride. Now, the Ado Air 20 comes equipped with a built-in computer as well. It's got an IPX7 waterproof rating. The colour display is also clear even under sort of bright sunshine conditions. No more squinting to see your speed. Talking of speed, the computer tracks your speed, obviously. It also has an odometer, trip distance, average speed. It's got 3 assist modes to choose from, though I'll be honest, I've set it to mode 3 pretty much all the time, and I'm kind of sure that's what most people do. Mode 1 offers minimal assistance, barely a nudge. Mode 2 is okay if you're looking to conserve battery maybe, but mode 3, that's where it's at, and that's where you really feel the assistance kick in. What's great is the power delivery is nice and smooth. Push hard on the pedals, the sensor knows to step in and give you that extra boost. Combine that with the belt drive, which is noticeably smoother than the traditional chain, and no gears to fuss over, and you've got yourself a really simple and efficient bike to maintain speed with, and pretty minimal effort. Now when it comes to getting up to speed, the first few pedal strokes rely entirely on your own power. That's because the torque sensor needs a moment to catch up to your enthusiasm, but once a battery kicks in, you accelerate smoothly and quickly. Now I'd say this slight delay actually helps extend the battery life, as the initial burst of energy from standstill needed is from your legs, not from the motor. It does mean you have to put a little more effort in. Some people will like that, some people will dislike that. Since there are no gears, you simply pedal your way up to speed. I found that the single gear is well suited for cruising around 25 kilometers an hour. Beyond that though, and your legs start spinning like a scene straight out of Tom and Jerry. We also have hydraulic brake discs featuring 160mm rotors on both the front and rear. Now the brake levers and calipers don't seem to carry any branding or names, but at the lever they feel pretty good, delivering a fair amount of braking power with just a sort of light pull. Put it this way, if you pull either lever as hard as you can, you'll lock up both wheels with relative ease and probably get a flying lesson in the process. When it comes to hill climbing, the Aidu Air 20 performs well and smoothly tackles inclines. I was quite surprised. The torque sensor is like a little mind reader. It knows when you're struggling and gives you that extra power just when you need it. I had no issues on some pretty steep hills, and the bike handled them without breaking a sweat. It's worth noting I do ride a lot of road bikes and I don't mind putting that power down myself. So all that talk of speed and hill climbing would be nothing without this battery. Now this is a real powerhouse of this setup. So what do we have? Now the battery is cleverly tucked away inside the seat tube, which I appreciate for a few reasons. First, it can be removed to charge, so you don't have to maneuver the whole bike near a socket in your house or garage. It also gives the bike a sleeker look, avoiding that chunky frame that screams I'm an e-bike. The battery specs are solid, 36 volt, 9.6 amp hour with a peak torque of 40 Newton meters. It takes around 4 to 6 hours to charge fully. There's a handy button on the battery to turn it on, and then you can power up the display. Now one issue I usually have with these smaller e-bikes is how hard they are to ride without any battery assistance. However, this bike breaks that trend. You can ride it with the battery turned off and it's not too bad, and that is very important, and here is why. You want a bike that works as a bike first, something that you can pedal efficiently. When you have that, adding a battery to assist makes for a really efficient package. And that's where the very large range comes in, which is the standout feature of this Aidu Air 20 in my opinion. Now I managed to ride on full power, that's power mode 3, for a whopping 46.7 kilometers on a single charge. That is 29 miles, and let me tell you, that wasn't on flat perfect roads, that was on a hilly route with plenty of ups and downs. Power mode 3 offers a lot of assistance as well, so traveling 46 kilometers, 29 miles on that setting is seriously impressive. Normally what happens is when the battery is 50% drained, you start to lose power quite quickly, but that wasn't the case here. Folding it down is pretty straightforward as well. The main central latch has a locking mechanism, which is a relief, no accidental mid-ride folding here. The paint and connection around that main joint are solid. There's no play or movement in that joint. The handlebar latch also has a safety catch. Again, extra layer of security. Once that's unlatched, the handlebars fold straight down. Now when fully folded, the bike measures 87 centimeters in length and roughly 50 centimeters wide. It's compact but not super tiny. It does have those 20-inch wheels. Weight wise, there is a claimed weight by Aidu of 16 kilos, but my advanced scale tells me a slightly different story at 18.57 kilograms. So we're a little on the hefty side.
Big boy!
So overall, what do I think? I think the Adu Air 20 stands out for its solid build quality, ultra smooth carbon belt and sleek compact design with a battery hidden in the seat post. It feels more substantial than most sort of smaller e-bikes, and with those 20-inch wheels and the best battery life I've ever experienced is pretty damn impressive. Sure, the rear light could be better and the absence of gears might be a downside for more powerful riders, but for a hassle-free, low-maintenance e-bike under £1,000, $1,300 roughly, it's hard to beat. If you enjoyed this video, you can check out this video next for more tips on what to consider and what to look for when buying these sort of smaller foldable e-bikes just like this one.